So yeah, they moved me to the labor and delivery room, and at that point I'm getting a little scared. So I called Cole because he had to go to work. So he went back home because the beds at the hospital are very uncomfortable. They're very small. In the labor and delivery room, they actually have like a little pull-out like couch, which is way more comfortable for the husbands or family that are there. But in the postpartum room, they only have like a little couch that was like basically a seat. It wasn't a like long couch. It was just a seat. And my husband's tall, so he just went back home. And he would get up and go to work. So around like 7 in the morning is when I called him and I was like, hey, I think you should get up here. They're telling me that I'm going back into the labor and delivery room, and I'm not sure what's going to go on, but they are going to put me back on the magnesium sulfate and then also give me steroids again. So they gave me steroids the first time, and that was like a butt shot, and those actually are kind of painful. Like, I didn't realize how butt shots, like, if you can feel it in the whole muscle, like when they put the needle in, and like I felt the whole thing like going through my muscle. It almost felt like I was cramping. Okay, so they moved me back in the labor and delivery room. This is like at 7 o'clock in the morning, and hours passing. I have clips of like me just chilling in the hospital bed. And hours are passing. My in-laws are contacting me. My siblings are contacting me. My parents are contacting me. My mom contacted me, I think, at like 12 o'clock p.m. And she's all, hey, you know, we're just getting ready to come up there because my family lives in Northern California, which is like 6 hours away from LA. So she was like, hey, you know, we're going to plan on driving tomorrow morning, tomorrow morning, because your dad has to work and he's gonna be coming along. And so I tell her, I'm like, hey, you know, I'm back in the labor delivery room. No big deal. Like, I'm 2 centimeters dilated, but they're basically holding off the contractions for me. So no big deal, no rush or anything like that. So just take your time, all this stuff. I'm telling her to take your time because I'm thinking I'm not going to be going into labor at all. So this ends up being the 14th of the 14th of June. So I'm sitting in the room and I'm noticing that I'm like getting cramps. I'm getting cramps. They feel like menstrual cramps and they're getting closer in like time. So I think it was pretty close to like 5 o'clock when my cramps started getting worse. It was around 5 something.
Seems like my contractions are getting a little bit closer. You can see the monitor back there. It is almost 6 o'clock now. I think I've been up since like 4:30 in the morning. And I think I did have a contraction like 10 minutes ago. So don't know what's gonna happen, but I am full-fledged in open arms. Just waiting.
My cramps started getting worse, and I just felt them getting closer and closer together, and I'm like, you know what, at this point I'm over feeling the pain. I'm over people having to change me. Like, I'm over having to pee in a pot in a bowl. I'm over the nurses. I'm over the sounds of the hospital, the machines beeping, like they're interrupting my sleep. I was just over so much. I was over not eating. Like, I'm a foodie. I need to eat. If I don't feel like I'm eating, I get upset. So I just was over everything, and I was just ready for my body to take charge and just get it over with. So it's 5 something, and an hour passes by, I'm having more intense cramps. Another hour passes by, I'm having more intense cramps. Another hour passes by, I'm having really intense cramps to the point where they feel like they're 10 minutes apart. they felt like they're 10 minutes apart. And at that point it's like around 8 something, and it's like 8:30, almost 9. And the nurses keep coming in. They're like, "Are you feeling those contractions?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm feeling them." They're like, they feel like they're like 10 minutes, 5 minutes apart. They're like, "No, they're like 30. So it's not that big of a deal." And I'm like, "Man, like they feel so close." And I noticed that my contraction monitor had came off my stomach. So when I put it back on, that's when they noticed that like the contractions were close. They were very close. And at that point, like I had to pee really bad. So I asked one of the nurses, that I need to pee. And so she brought in the little, the pan to place under me, and I could not pee. Like I could not go. And so I felt like I had to pee so bad. There was so much like pressure. And so the nurse, she was like, "Well, do you want me to put a catheter in?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, I don't want a catheter. Like, I don't want anything else interrupting this area, my private area." Like, but I was so desperate to pee, so I asked her to put a catheter in. So she puts a catheter in. It's like 8, I think it's like 9:20 or something like that. She puts a catheter in, and I finally go pee, but then she gets the doctor because I was having a contraction when I was about to pee. And so she gets the doctor comes in, the doctor checks me out, but I knew I was in labor because my contractions were so intense. And so she's like, "Oh, you're 10 centimeters dilated. Yeah, we're gonna get this thing going." So they come in, they're rushing everything. Like I told Cole, "Hey, go set up the camera." He put it on the tripod and everything. And they have like a mask on me because I noticed that I would hold my breath whenever I had a contraction. So they had to put me on oxygen. I think my labor was maybe like 10, 15 minutes, and I pushed and she came out. And I'll insert some clips here to show you guys what the process was.
Got it.
Sorry, honey. Usually a few weeks later, a few weeks earlier.
Okay.
Yeah, my phone. But she is this spicy. She's probably gonna want to walk out of here before we know it. Tommy, 21 abdomen. Okay.
But it was so quick yet so drawn out that I was just like, "Oh my God, I'm so done. I'm ready for her to be out." She weighed 2 pounds and 10 ounces, very small, but she came out screaming. They put her on the bed, or they put her on the weighing machine and all that stuff. And the doctor finished what she needed to do with me. She pushed on my belly to make sure everything, the placenta and everything was out. And it was just an amazing experience, a scary experience, because none of our family was there. Like my husband called his mom and my mom while they were on the road to come to us to tell them that we already had her. It was just so crazy, and I'm just so thankful on how it went out. The doctors and the nurses were so amazing at Kaiser. I mean, it didn't happen how I wanted it to happen, but it happened in an amazing way. But I'm overall thankful that I was able to have the care and the ability to be at the hospital, ability to be so close to the hospital, and the just ability to be able to like be strong-minded and not give in to having an epidural. I didn't have an epidural. I had her naturally, and I'm beyond thankful for that. I think if we're gonna have another child, I would do the same thing again. The pain was intense. I'm not gonna lie, like it really was intense. But I felt like I was listening to my body. I let it go, and that's just what I needed to do. I've always wanted to be able to have a child naturally, and to have my first child naturally has just been a goal of mine. And I know not many women get to have that experience, and it's because of health, it's because of different things, how the baby is positioned. She was positioned in the correct manner, and it just worked out, and I'm blessed. Not many women get to have a baby naturally, let alone have a child, and let alone have it in the way that I had her. Most premature babies have to come out via C-section, and mentally I knew I was not going to be able to handle a C-section. I did not want surgery. I did not want to be able, or to have that disability after having her, like be in pain, not be able to hold her, not be able to walk for a certain amount of time. I just knew that, like, I was very thankful that God allowed me to have her in that manner. So I'll insert some clips. You guys will probably see clips throughout this video, but I wanted to share my labor and delivery story with you guys, and let you guys know that it's all possible. And it's labor is crazy. It's amazing what the woman's, a female's body can go through. But I just wanted to share that with you guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Comment down below if you guys have any questions regarding my labor. If you guys have any suggestions regarding videos that I should make, please leave a comment down below. Thumbs this video up, and I will see you guys in my next video. God bless.